and now more American jobs are being shipped to China. Nearly 200 employees at this plant, this is the Sensata plant in Illinois, they're about to be laid off. Even more devastating here, they say they even had to train their Chinese replacements. Bain Capital, the private equity firm once headed by Mitt Romney, is behind this outsourcing an attack point in last night's debate.
When he talks about getting tough on China, keep in mind that Governor Romney invested in companies that were pioneers of outsourcing to China.
Ted Rollins, live in Freeport, Illinois, where Sensata workers have set up a Bainport, is what they're calling it, basically protesting Bain Capital for the layoffs expected next month. These workers, Ted, had a debate watch party last night. What was their reaction?
Well, Brooke, as you might imagine, they were glued into the debate, and they watched it right here from Bainport. You can see it's raining here at Bainport right now. Factory's right across the street, so they are out here every day. They have been for the last 35 days. Right now, they're inside this tent, which is where I'm going to go to. And this is where they watched the debate last night, and as you can imagine, they were keenly interested in anything about jobs and China. We should point out that Mitt Romney left Bain 7 years before Bain bought this plant, so he had absolutely nothing to do with the specific decisions that are going on now with the loss of jobs here. However, these folks here do believe that because he is a majority shareholder in Bain and because he is the Republican nominee for president, that he does have the power to do something about their jobs and their job losses.
Now, you're talking to these folks, and I know one person you spoke with at Sensata absolutely blames Romney for what's happening. Let's take a listen.
Well, the guy that's running for president, who has the nerve to stand behind a podium and says jobs are a top priority and talk about getting tough on China, and his company's moving my job to China the day before Election Day. People
here have a vested interest to keep their jobs, and they really do have a lot of anger towards Bain. This is a company that made millions of dollars last quarter. They had record-breaking profits last quarter, and it's hard to convince these people that they need their jobs to make even more money.
And Ted, I understand there were arrests?
Yeah, there was an action today. 6 people were arrested. They went to the company and they tried to deliver a petition, and they asked for a meeting. 6 people were arrested. And organizers here say watch for more of those arrests, more of those actions as the company winds down the operations at this factory.
You know, Governor Romney, his main calling card for running for office is his business experience. And so, understandably, the American people have been asking, well, let's find out what you've been doing. And you know, if your main experience is investing in companies that are called pioneers of outsourcing, then that indicates that we've got a different vision.
Mitt Romney may not be running Bain anymore, but he still makes millions of dollars every year in his investments, from his investments in Bain Capital. In his 2011 disclosure, Mitt Romney reported Bain assets between $12 and $60 million, which gives him as much as $9 million in income, possibly more. In 2011, the blind trust, so-called blind trust, for his wife Anne held at least another $10 million in Bain assets and possibly much more, which generates an income of at least another $4 million. Mitt Romney's continued investment in Bain is why 170 people who work for a company called Sensata in Freeport, Illinois, are asking Mitt Romney to step in and stop Bain from shipping their jobs to China. This is at least the second time Bain has shipped jobs from that company abroad since buying it in 2006. Joining me now from Freeport, Illinois, Cheryl Randacker, who has worked at Sensata for 33 years, Sean Bolt, a member of the Freeport City Council, and George Gallrock, the mayor of Freeport. Cheryl, when did you find out that your job that you've had for 33 years might be moved by Bain to China?
We found out 2 days after they signed the papers when they bought it from Honeywell, and they told us within 3 minutes of the first initial meeting that we were being outsourced to China, Mexico, and Malaysia.
And in the city council, you passed a resolution saying the city of Freeport supports the Sensata workers and calls on Mitt Romney to come to Freeport to meet the people directly affected by Bain Capital's outsourcing, to step in and stop the outsourcing of these jobs from Freeport to China. Councilman Bolt, why did you target and mention Mitt Romney in that resolution?
Well, with the ties to Bain, we'd like to think that he may be in the unique opportunity to actually be able to make a difference at this point. And I think the opportunity for him to be able to step in and demonstrate how he's going to lead, it's a perfect opportunity for him to step up and make a difference right now and let us know, or let us see the vision for his presidency.
Mr. Mayor, not all owners or investors in Bain are equal. Mitt Romney is the first among them that Bain would listen to. He used to run the place. If Mitt Romney went to Bain and said, look, in order to continue to make the hundreds of millions and billions of dollars that Bain has made over the years, do we really have to send these jobs off? Can't you hold off on this? Wouldn't you expect Bain to listen to Mitt Romney saying that to them?
Oh, absolutely. He's the one that created the model that sent jobs overseas. And we'd love to see Mitt Romney and President Obama come to Freeport and actually go to the Lincoln Douglas debate site and have a debate on outsourcing, on how terrible it is for the country, and what they're going to do, not do from the podium, but come and meet the people and see the lives they affect and how they're going to positively make changes to keep jobs here in Freeport, Illinois, and our country.
Cheryl, if you and the mayor and the city council can't stop Bain from doing this, what's going to happen to you when your job goes to China?
Well, I will be forced to go back to school along with a lot of my other co-workers, trying to find a job in the area when everything seems to be going the direction of the East Coast overseas. So it's a hard time, just like it is all over the country, but I think Mitt Romney can probably stop it all and change the practice, because after all, he did create Bain Capital.
And what about your family, Cheryl? How would it affect them to lose your income that you're bringing in now from that company?
Okay, I am a single parent, so my daughter going to school, college, she had to come back to go to the community college here in Freeport, and she's working as well part-time, so she's going to prolong her education to finish it so she can get a better job. But it's just going to be hard making the month-to-month bills, to be honest.
Cheryl, how many days left do you have at the company if Bain goes through with its plan?
They're saying that we will be out by the 1st of November. Things may be moving quicker, but that's the date that they gave us so far.
Mr. Mayor, I think you can explain to Mitt Romney what it will look like to see these workers thrown out of there a couple of days before the election.
Well, it's a terrible thing. It really is. We see the faces each and every day. As the mayor, I'm on the street. I see people at the restaurants, the church, school activities. I know them by name. Most mayors across the nation know a lot of their citizens by name, and how a job loss like this would really affect them. It's a terrible thing. The worst thing here is they're quality workers. They're productive workers. They're educated and they're smart, and they have great work ethic.
Mayor Gallrap, Sean Bolt, and Cheryl Randecker of Freeport, Illinois, thank you all for joining me tonight, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, Governor Romney, his main calling card for running for office is his business experience. And so, understandably, the American people have been asking, well, let's find out what you've been doing. And, you know, if your main experience is investing in companies that are called pioneers of outsourcing, then that indicates that we've got a different vision, because I don't want to be a pioneer of outsourcing. I want to be a pioneer of insourcing.